Welcome to Million Mile Oracle. I'm Tamara, and I appreciate you for sharing this space with me. If you are new here, I channel intuitive guidance to help you navigate life with clarity and intention. If you're a returning Oracle, welcome back. Today, we are going to look into where your next financial breakthrough might be. And we're going to use the Tea Leaf Oracles and the Wild Muse Oracle. First question we're going to look at is, what is the current energy surrounding money or finances, fighting spirit, and goal setting? So right now, you could be working really hard at achieving a goal of financial freedom, of moving out of a place of scarcity or fear regarding your work, really trying to focus on improving a financial situation. Dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. And skull, hidden secrets can harm you. So you're currently working on setting goals, and it looks like you're going to meet those goals. All of these arrows are pointing directly into the bullseye. So like right on target with your goals and really fighting to achieve those goals. And as a result of that, you will get financial gain. Just going to feel into this energy for skull. I'm seeing like cracks. These are the suture lines of the skull. They separate the skull bones. But this could be a fissure, like represent a fissure or a fracture or a break. This could have been something that you experienced in your finances, a fissure, a fracture, a break, a downturn, coming from an experience where things were hidden from you. So, for example, you could have accepted a job where you were told this is going to be your salary, and you're like, okay, that's cool. Or you negotiated a particular salary, and then you get to that job and they disclose to you that actually they're not going to pay you that salary. They want you to take an immediate pay cut because some things have changed with the company. And now all of a sudden what you thought you were making is going to be half of what you were making. That was a hidden secret that could have harmed you. That's just one example. There could be many ways in which companies move behind the scenes that can negatively impact you financially. But from what I see here, you're moving in a direction where you're going to be hitting financial targets, and financial gain is going to be coming to you from the things that you did in the past. So that's your current energy. Are there any subconscious patterns that could be limiting financial flow right now? Okay, so we have disconnect and crystal clear. So with disconnect, the patterns that I kind of get from this energy is things that you could do to like numb out, scrolling endlessly on the gram, going out and partying excessively or drinking, any behaviors that are causing you to need downtime to recover from. And crystal clear kind of tells me that you know exactly what these behaviors might be for yourself. It's pretty clear to you that you might need to stop some behaviors that are not leading you towards your financial goals. And so this is a call to make moves right now to disconnect from those behaviors. Things that lead to burnout, anything that could lead to you overgiving in a situation and things not being reciprocal. Disconnect from that type of energy. If you're always the one that's, volunteering to pay for dinner, or be the ride home for everybody going out, this is not leading you towards your goals of financial freedom. Okay, we've also got karma. You will reap what you have sown. From haystack and diamond. You will be receiving or giving a precious gift. So karma can be good or bad depending on kind of how you know, your actions. There are consequences as a result of your actions. So examining if the actions that you have been putting out are leading to a path towards success or destruction. If you've been constantly scrolling instead of doing work, the karma that you're going to reap is potentially losing out on opportunities, being called in at your job for not, meeting deadlines. Those are all consequences. And so if you kind of look at karma as what are the consequences of your actions? If your actions have been positive and going in a direction towards growth and success, then you're going to reap positive rewards. If they have not been in a direction towards growth and success and more of avoidance, you're going to reap the consequences of those actions. Diamond is, a rare, precious stone, that is formed under pressure. So that could be you being someone who has been through situations that have formed you into who you are today, or you could be receiving a gift that could be, worth a lot to you. Are there any strengths or assets that are being underestimated? Any strengths or assets that the viewer should realize that they have? You are underestimating your ability to not give a F. Your ability to get up and walk away from situations that don't serve you. Not everybody can do this. People stay in bad jobs, they stay in bad marriages, they stay in houses, and they make all types of excuses as to why they can't leave. Even if the house is like destroying their health, there's, people who could be in a old house that has mold issues, but they like the way the house looks and don't want to accept the fact that the house is making them sick. You're in a job that you hate going to, but you are clutching the scarcity mindset for fear that you can't, get a better job and make more money somewhere else. And so you're just staying in a place that you hate. This is saying your ability to get up and walk away and change your situation is something that you actually need to acknowledge more, that you have this ability to get up and walk away where others might just stay and complain. Any other patterns? Strengths or assets that are being underestimated? Okay. Tankard, celebration, fun, enjoyment. You might be underestimating how your energy shifts, how your vibration raises when you are celebrating, when you're having fun, and when you're enjoying things. When you are in the energy of enjoyment, you will experience more scenarios, situations, instances of joy. So yeah, don't underestimate what it feels like to be in that state of joy, because being in that state draws more joy to you. Tortoise, slowly but surely getting ahead. You could be underestimating how, dedicated that you are once you commit to something, and just taking time out to honor all the work that you've put in towards achieving a goal. And then staff, you will be taken care of in difficult times. You could be not realizing that you've overcome difficult times in the past and you have been taken care of. And that could be from the spirit realm. God may be showing you and bringing back into your memory times when you overcame things that people would have thought you would have never overcome, to remind you that you're always taken care of, and that anything that you face in the future, you will be able to navigate through, because you will be taken care of. What action or energy shift will unlock greater abundance? What action or energy shift could unlock greater abundance? Trusting your intuition. This is pretty clear. So, what does it look like when you trust your intuition? When you have a decision to make, and you hear that little voice in your head, or you feel something in the pit of your stomach that tells you to go one way or another, or you physically ask yourself, okay, what should I do? And an idea or a thought comes to you, that is your intuition. And taking whatever first comes to your mind, writing it down and acting on it, as opposed to overthinking it and letting your ego take over and convincing you to argue with that first thought that came to mind. Going with that first thought is going to lead to your abundance. Trusting your intuition. I'm thinking of this time when I was driving to work late at night. I was working 2 hours away, and I was working 24-hour shifts. And so I had to go in the night before, because the work was so stressful and strenuous that I would have to leave at 4. I only did this one time. I left at 4 a.m. on the first day, and then I ran around the entire day. I didn't sit down for more than like 15 minutes, and I was so exhausted after that. So I started coming in the night before and staying at my sister's house the day before I had to work. And one night it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I was driving next to this like Mack truck that had like spikes on its wheels. And I asked myself, should I pass this truck or should I stay in my lane? And I immediately got a message of no, don't pass the truck. So I slowed down, and I'm not even lying. Within like a minute or two, this animal ran across the street in front of my car and got hit by that truck and was spinning around in the wheel well of the truck. And then it was tossed back out onto the street in my lane. And because I had slowed down, I actually came to a stop in front of it. It was a dog, and the dog was just like screaming. I've never heard a dog scream before. And once the dog realized that I was not going to run it over because I had stopped driving, it kind of like looked dead at me, then got up and like hobbled away, like screaming. But I will never forget that moment of trusting my intuition. And I saw immediately what it looked like to trust my intuition in real time. So I was called to share that with you because, you may be coming up on a period of time where where it's not going to be a path to follow, like no cookbook recipe. You can open it up and be like, this is step 1, 2, 3. It might be literally ask yourself a question, get an answer, and trust it and go for it. Because sometimes these situations, people just can't give you guidance. People outside of yourself may not have the answers. They're within you. And you might be in split-second decisions of what to do. Lion, time to act. And then kite, vacation. These two things of what action or energy will unlock greater abundance. Sometimes you need to just take the pressure off of yourself. Take a vacation, take a time out, take a break, pull back your energy so that you will have enough energy when it is time to act. So you could be being called to take more rest. Your body, you could be overworking, and this could be, I can't even get this back up. You could be so tired you just can't even get back up. But you will know when it's time to act. But in order to be able to act in your best interest, you actually have to take that time off to allow your body to rest, to heal, to receive. And then how can the viewer sustainably expand what is coming in? What can they do to expand what is coming in? What do they need to do? There's a card that went sideways. Here it is. Tell it like it is. Okay. What can you do to expand what is coming in? Is tell it like it is. Use your voice. Use your voice to communicate a message that you have, whether it's you're starting a new business that could be service-based. It could be you moving in a direction where you're speaking more for yourself at work, not letting people take credit for the work that you're doing, investing in yourself with coaching, going online and finding more videos on how to really build a new skill. Or it could literally be like public speaking if you're afraid to share your voice, share your message, but you have a message that you want to share. Maybe taking some public speaking classes. I remember I took one in college. Everybody was required to take a public speaking class like freshman year. And I was so nervous to get up in front of everyone and speak. Oh my gosh. Even now, I don't really love getting up and speaking to everyone, but I know that, some of the things that I have been through could help other people navigate situations in their life. And we are way more connected than we are separate. And so just keeping that in mind helps me to, share my voice and come out of fear. Any other messages on what they can do to expand what is coming in? Any other messages? What can be done to expand what is coming in? Take care, enemies are working against you. And casket. Someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. Okay. So with these two cards, I'm getting that what you can do to sustainably expand might be to walk away from people who have been working against you. Dead that situation is what I'm hearing. Dead that situation. It's sad when you have friends or family or coworkers who, love to see you fail. But these are people you have to step outside of what's logical, use that intuition, and really, do things that most people might not do. That could look like walking away from a family member who, could be a provider, a care provider, a mother or a father figure. That could look like cutting off that friend that you've known for 20 years because every time they call you, it's all about problems that they've got. It's never about, how to expand or grow your life, nothing positive to share. Somebody who is constantly in a situation of chaos or struggle is probably not somebody that you want to have around you constantly if you're trying to grow and go to the next level. So what becomes possible if this path is followed? The best case scenario. That's what becomes possible when this path is followed. Look at her leaving behind this darkness and she's going into the light. And she doesn't need an umbrella where she's going because it's not raining, it's not storms. It's not constant chaos and struggle. Yeah, you find legacy, you find freedom. You embrace peace. That's the best case scenario. Number 33 could be relevant. You could be seeing 333. And before I get another card, I want to read the angel number book for 33. Love and peace. You are never alone. Your angels are with you, listening and receiving your prayers, but they want you to stretch a little further. What can you do today to help yourself? Reflect on a present problem, and think of one way to make it slightly less difficult. No matter how small the action, it matters. We're literally talking about what you can do to sustainably expand what's coming in, and what actions or energetic shifts that will help unlock greater abundance. Yeah. And anything else? What becomes possible when this path is followed? What becomes possible? Flowers. Happiness. Happiness becomes possible. You know how you hear stories about people who seem to have everything. They have a house, they have cars, they have money, they have a family, but they're not happy. It's because that comes from within. And so the best case scenario for you is leading you to your happiness. Outside of all the material things, you could have everything in the world and still be unhappy. And that's because it's your internal environment that is what brings happiness. So really focusing on healing, making decisions from a place of wholeness, and your abundance grows from there. It's not expecting everything on the outside to bring happiness. That's where you're headed. That was the message that wanted to come through. Thank you for joining me at Million Mile Oracle. If this message resonated with you or someone you know, feel free to comment below, and I'd love to hear your stories to better connect to the energy. I'll see you in the next message.